Good morning. The dawn has broken once again, and the soft light stretches gently across the horizon. This hour, just before the world fully awakens, holds a quiet kind of holiness. The air is still, the sky is open, and everything seems to pause for just a moment. It is as if creation itself slows down to honor the sacred beginning of a new day. Morning is more than a time on the clock. It is an invitation to breathe, to reset, to listen, and to let go of what yesterday tried to leave behind. Maybe you have come to this morning, not just with a warm cup of coffee, but with a heavy heart. Maybe sleep was difficult last night, and you woke up feeling more burdened than rested. I want you to imagine someone just like you, someone sitting quietly before the sun has fully risen. She is alone in her living room, the world outside still dark. Her hands tremble a little as she stares at a stack of unpaid bills. She has just lost her job, and fear feels like a thick fog settling into her chest. She does not know how she will make it through the week, let alone the month. Her prayers feel weak. Her strength feels gone. Her hope flickers like a candle on its last bit of flame. We have all had mornings like this, mornings where it feels like the weight of the world has landed squarely on our shoulders. But here's the truth that changes everything. God is already ahead of us. He is not waiting for us to figure things out on our own. He has already stepped into the places we are afraid of. He has already touched the needs we have not spoken. He has already started making a way where we thought there was none. Faith does not erase fear, but it quiets its voice. Prayer does not magically solve everything, but it reconnects us to the one who can. You do not have to carry today by yourself. You do not have to pretend you are strong when you are barely holding on. God is not waiting for perfection. He is waiting for surrender. And this moment, this quiet space between night and day, is where that surrender can begin. You are not just starting a new day, you are stepping into a divine conversation, a holy invitation to align your heart with the one who created it. What if, before the demands of life flood in, you chose to listen? What if, instead of reaching for your phone, you reached for peace? What if today could begin not with fear, but with faith? This is the place where that shift begins. Let this morning be more than routine. Let it be sacred. Let your first breath be a whisper of trust. Let the silence speak louder than worry. Let this be the hour you meet God, not in the thunder, but in the stillness. So take a breath. Quiet your thoughts. Set aside the noise of the world. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And you are not walking into an empty day. The road ahead has already been walked by a God who loves you deeply, who knows exactly what this day holds, and who goes before you with power and mercy. Let us begin this journey together. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in this early hour when the sky still holds the shadows of night and the light has not yet fully broken through. The world around me is quiet, but my mind is not. My thoughts are moving too fast, pulling me in too many directions, and I can't seem to find peace, no matter how still the room may be. There are things pressing on me that I do not know how to name, things weighing on my heart that I do not know how to carry. I feel both overwhelmed and empty at the same time, and yet here I am, showing up, because somewhere deep inside I believe you are already here waiting. I do not have polished words to offer this morning. I only have what is real, the unfinished thoughts, the broken places, the restless feelings that rise before I even open my eyes. There is tension in my chest, tightness in my stomach, and questions that won't stop repeating in my head. What if today does not get better? What if I mess it up? What if I do not have what it takes? You know every one of these fears before I even speak them. And still you draw me close. Still you invite me into this quiet space where I do not have to pretend to be okay. God. Sometimes mornings like this feel heavier than nights. At least in the dark. I can sleep or try to forget. But with morning comes responsibility. Morning brings choices and conversations, and the long list of things I need to do, fix, handle, or survive. I admit that sometimes I dread the day before it even starts. I carry yesterday's mistakes into today. I let worries about tomorrow steal the peace you want to give me right now. And I do not want to live like that anymore. So I am laying everything at your feet before I even step out the door. The things I can name and the things I cannot. The grief I thought I buried. The fear I tried to outrun. The frustration I keep trying to manage on my own. You see it all, and you do not turn away. You do not ask me to be stronger before I come. You just ask me to come, and so here I am, with my morning breath and messy soul, asking you to meet me exactly as I am. I confess that I have tried to carry too much. I have tried to make things happen in my own strength. I have tried to control outcomes, fix people, and earn peace by solving problems. But it does not work. It only exhausts me. So today, even if I feel like I am still holding on too tightly, I choose to begin letting go. I choose to believe that you know what is ahead, and that you have already stepped into it. I choose to trust that while I slept, you were still working. I choose to remember that nothing I will face today will be a surprise to you. Dear God, I need you to order my steps today. I need you to quiet the noise in my mind. I need you to show me where to go and when to pause. I need you to remind me that being still is not failure, and that rest is not weakness. I need to hear your voice louder than the voices of doubt and fear. I need you to walk ahead of me, to make a way where I can to see one, and to clear the path that looks blocked from where I stand. I picture you stepping into the day before me like a rescuer entering a collapsed building, checking the beams, clearing the debris, and marking safe places so that when I follow, I am not walking blind, I am walking protected. I do not have to fear what is around the corner, because you have already been there. I do not have to overthink every choice, because you have promised to direct the steps of those who trust in you. I do not have to carry guilt from yesterday or worry from tomorrow, because you are the God of this very moment, and you are with me here. So, Father, as the light slowly touches the sky, let it touch my heart too. Bring order to my thoughts and calm to my spirit. Let me breathe deeply without rushing into worry. Help me not to fill the silence with noise, but to sit in it long enough to feel your presence. I need you more than I need answers. I need peace more than I need a plan. I need you to be real to me this morning, not in some distant theological way, but right here in the middle of my messy, beautiful, anxious life. Walk before me today, Lord, not just into the big moments, but into the small ones too, into every conversation, every decision, every step I take. Be there in the waiting rooms and the traffic jams. Be there in the silence of my own thoughts and the noise of the world around me. Prepare the ground I will walk on. Guard the people I will encounter. Protect the places I will enter. I may not know what is coming, but I trust that you do. And that is enough for this morning. I do not need to have it all figured out. I just need to know you are near. I do not need the whole map. I just need to follow the next step you show me. And when my confidence shakes, remind me that my faith is not in my ability to walk perfectly. It is in your perfect love that walks ahead of me. I choose to believe that this day is not just something to survive. It is something sacred, a chance to witness you moving before I even know where you are leading. So I open this day to you. I open my hands, my heart, my schedule, and my soul. Even if nothing feels settled yet, I will follow. Even if the road looks uncertain, I will walk. Even if fear whispers again, I will remember who goes before me. You are not behind me. You are ahead, clearing the way, lighting the path, holding the day. God, if you are already ahead of me, then I do not need to try so hard to lead. I do not have to keep grasping for control like it is the only way to survive. I feel that part of me still clinging, still trying to plan every moment, still afraid to trust the quiet, still afraid to trust you completely. But if today is really yours and not mine, then I need to start living like it. I need to walk like someone who believes you know the way better than I do. I need to breathe like someone who is no longer carrying the weight of steering every outcome. So I am coming to you now not just to speak, but to let go. Let go of the maps I have drawn for myself. Let go of the pressure to have all the answers. Let go of the belief that I always have to be in charge, or that everything depends on my timing. I release to you the urge to rush. I release the fear of moving too slowly. I release the voice in my head that keeps saying, I am falling behind. You are not in a hurry with me. You are not impatient or disappointed. You are simply inviting me to match your pace step by step, moment by moment. Lord, help me not to confuse movement with progress. I have spent so much of my energy sprinting through days, chasing goals, reacting to pressure, and calling it purpose. But deep down, I know that not everything that keeps me busy is from you. Some of it is just noise. Some of it is fear dressed up as productivity. So please teach me how to slow down until my heart beats in rhythm with yours. Teach me how to walk with you, not ahead of you, not dragging behind you, but with you. There are things I want to see happen today, and it is tempting to start forcing doors open or pushing past what feels slow. But maybe this is where trust begins, not in the moment of arrival, but in the moment I stop trying to force the next thing. Maybe peace does not come from finishing everything, but from releasing the need to finish on my own terms. I want to surrender my pace. I want to lay down my addiction to urgency. I want to trust that the road will open when it is supposed to, and that I won't miss what is meant for me if I am walking in step with you. I know I have asked you for direction before, and then run ahead because I could not wait. I have prayed for peace, then rushed into chaos just to feel in control. I have asked you to lead, but kept my hands on the wheel. I see that now, and I do not want to keep repeating that cycle. I want to do it differently this time. I want to pause long enough to hear you. I want to be still long enough to sense where you are moving. I want to walk only when you walk, speak only when you speak, and stop when you stop. God, I admit that surrender does not come easy for me. It feels like loss at first. It feels like weakness, like letting go of certainty and stepping into something unknown. But I am starting to see that surrender is actually strength. Not the strength that fights harder, but the strength that trusts deeper. The strength that says, I do not have to know, because you already do. That strength is what I ask for today. Not more control, not more power. Just the courage to trust you even when the next step looks small, quiet, or slow. If there is something I have been trying to force open, shut it gently. If there is a plan I have been gripping too tightly, loosen my hold. If there is a timeline I have written in ink, help me rewrite it in pencil. And if there is something you are leading me toward that I have been avoiding because it does not match my plan, give me the boldness to follow anyway. I want to want what you want even if it does not come the way I thought it would. I surrender the fear of missing out. I surrender the fear of falling behind. I surrender the pride that tells me I need to figure everything out before I move. I surrender the comparison that steals my joy and clouds my vision. I surrender the belief that I always have to have something to show for every day, every hour, every effort. Let obedience be enough. Let presence be enough. Let today unfold the way you designed it, not the way I demanded it. So now, as I begin this day, I choose to take one step not toward accomplishment, but toward alignment, not toward results, but toward relationship. I choose to start from trust, not from tension. I do not need to rush toward the end of this day. I just need to walk honestly through its beginning. I just need to place one foot in front of the other, knowing that the ground beneath me has already been prepared. I do not need to see the full path to take the first step. I only need to know that you are on it, and you are. You always are. So I let go, and I lean in. Whatever comes next, I will not run ahead in fear or pride. I will not fight to prove anything. I will walk surrendered, steady, and still held in your hands. Father, as I sit with this quiet surrender, I find myself wondering how many times you have carried me through without me even realizing it. There is something sacred about looking back, not to relive pain, but to remember how you met me in the middle of it. I do not want to be someone who forgets too quickly. I do not want to rush past what you have already done, just because I am worried about what has not happened yet. Help me hold on to memory not as a weight, but as a well, a place I can draw from when my trust runs dry. It is strange how clearly I can remember the things that went wrong, but so often I forget the ways you made them right. The nights I cried and thought I would never sleep again. The mornings I did not want to face. The doors that closed so hard they felt like rejection, only for me to discover later they were divine protection. I think about the times I thought I had lost everything, and somehow you placed something new in my hands. Maybe not what I expected, but exactly what I needed. You were there, even when I doubted, even when I tried to fix it all on my own. You did not leave. You did not punish. You waited. You stayed. And you rescued me in ways I did not understand until much later. God, remind me of those moments now, not to make me feel ashamed for ever doubting you, but to remind me what is already true. You are trustworthy, not just in theory, not just in stories from others, but in the pages of my own life. I have seen it. I have lived it. I have felt the shift from fear to peace. I have watched the impossible bend to your will, and even though I forget sometimes, deep down I know you have not changed. The same power that brought me through before is still holding me now. So help me name the stones. Help me build an altar of memory today, not with grand words or polished prayers, but with real moments. The job I thought I would not get, but you opened the door. The phone call that came when I was at my lowest. The bill that got paid when there was no money left. The strength to walk into rooms I was afraid of. The words to speak when I thought I would be silent. Every one of those was you. And I want to remember. I need to remember, because today has its own unknowns, its own shadows. And if I do not anchor my faith in what I have already seen, I will drift in fear again. Let my memory become my strength. Let it speak louder than doubt. Let it preach back to me when the lies get loud. I want to carry these memories like light in my pocket. Not nostalgia, not longing for the past, but evidence of how far we have come, of how faithful you are, of how your timing has never been too late. Even when I did not understand it in the moment, I want to see my life as a map of your mercy, not just a list of unanswered questions. If I ever feel like I am walking through something I have never faced before, remind me. Maybe the details are new, but you are not. Maybe the setting has changed, but the story has not. You are still the one who saves. You are still the one who provides. You are still the one who knows the way when I do not. And even when the road ahead looks unfamiliar, your past faithfulness is a sign that you will not leave me now. Lord, bring to mind what I need to remember today. Call back the stories that restore my courage. Let them rise to the surface like old songs I have not sung in a while. Let them quiet my fear and feed my hope. Let me speak them aloud, not for show, but for strength. I do not want to forget how you met me in the hospital room, how you held me in grief, how you turned heartbreak into healing, how you walked with me through dark valleys and brought me out the other side. Those are not just stories, they are altars. They are the living proof that I can trust you now. And God, if there are places where the memory still stings, meet me there too. Sometimes I still carry the pain of what happened, even when I know you brought me through it. Sometimes I am afraid to revisit the past because it is still tender, but I believe you can take those raw places and show me the redemption that is unfolding. I believe you can turn my wounds into reminders of your presence. I believe you are still writing healing into my history. So walk me gently through the memories I have been avoiding. Show me where you were when I thought I was alone. Let your love rewrite the parts I still do not understand. Today, I choose to tell the truth about my journey. Not the version that skips over the hard parts, but the version that holds it all. The tears and the laughter, the waiting and the breakthrough, the wandering and the coming home. All of it matters. All of it speaks of your goodness. And I will not let time steal the testimony. I will not let fear silence what you have already done. I will speak of it. I will sing of it. I will carry it with me into every uncertain moment. Because this is who you are, the God who was, the God who is, the God who will always be. And my story is not separate from that, it is held within it. Every step, every fall, every recovery, every quiet miracle that no one else saw. It is all evidence of you. So when I face doubt today, I won't pretend it is not there. I will just remind it of everything I have already survived. And I will remind it of who walked with me through it all. Let memory become more than reflection. Let it become momentum. Let it not just comfort me, but carry me. Let it move me forward with courage. Not just because I hope you will be faithful again, but because I know you will. Father, when I look back and see how faithfully you have walked with me, I realize that even the waiting seasons were not wasted. You were present in those long stretches of silence. You were shaping things beneath the surface when it looked like nothing was moving. And now, as I face moments that feel paused or uncertain, I want to hold on to that truth not just as memory, but as belief, not just in the past, but in this very breath. If you have gone before me, then what feels like delay may actually be part of your mercy. What feels like a closed door might be your protection, wrapped in patience. Lord, I confess how hard it is for me to wait. I have been taught to keep moving, to solve quickly, to chase results. It is easy to think that progress always means motion, that action means strength, and stillness means weakness. But you move in ways that do not always look like movement to me. And I am learning slowly that waiting is not the absence of your hand. It is often the clearest evidence of it. Sometimes you pause the path because something ahead needs to shift. Sometimes you hold me back because the timing is not safe yet. Sometimes you slow me down so I do not walk into a place that would harm me. So today, instead of rushing, I want to rest in your pace. Instead of doubting, I want to trust that your not yet is not a no. I want to believe that what feels like stillness might be you working in layers I can't see, that you are adjusting things on my behalf, smoothing out what would have tripped me, healing what would have hurt me, preparing what I would not have been ready for. And even though I long for forward motion, I want it in alignment with you, not apart from you. If I am honest, waiting exposes all my hidden fears. It brings up old lies I thought I let go of. It whispers that I have been forgotten, that I have missed my chance, that others are passing me by. It makes me want to take matters into my own hands, to manufacture outcomes just to ease the discomfort. But I know that path, I have walked it before, and I have seen where it leads confusion, regret, striving without peace. So I surrender that impulse today. I lay down my need to rush ahead. I give you the space to move without my interference. I give you permission to protect me by pausing me. Lord, give me eyes to see delay not as punishment, but as grace. Teach me how to wait without bitterness. Show me how to stay open in the in-between. Keep my heart soft while I sit with unanswered questions. And if all I do today is trust you one more moment, then let that be enough. Let trust be my movement. Let patience be my strength. Let peace rise even when the path is unclear. And if today holds another not yet, help me respond with surrender instead of anxiety. Help me sit with you instead of striving against the quiet. Help me stop measuring value by what gets accomplished and start measuring it by how deeply I lean into your presence. I do not want to fill every empty space with worry. I want to fill it with worship. I want to believe that waiting time is not wasted time. That something holy happens when I stop trying to outrun the unknown and simply breathe where I am. Sometimes it feels like the whole world is sprinting, moving faster than my feet can carry me, and I am stuck in a different rhythm, slower, quieter, more hidden. But maybe the rhythm is not wrong. Maybe it is sacred. Maybe it is yours. So I let go of the fear of missing out. I let go of comparing my pace to anyone else. I let go of chasing things that do not belong to me just to feel like I am doing something. I want what you have for me. When you have it for me, no sooner and no later. God, if you are preparing the road ahead, then I do not want to walk before you have finished. I do not want to push through a wall you have not torn down yet. I do not want to grasp for something you are still forming. So instead of asking you to move faster, I ask you to help me slow down. Teach me to notice the signs of your presence even in delay. Remind me that stillness can be holy ground, that pause can be protection, that the hallway between seasons is not a void, but a holding place for transformation. If there is something in me that needs to shift before I step forward, then do it here. If my heart needs healing, if my vision needs adjusting, if my motives need refining, do it in the waiting. Dante, let me walk into the next thing carrying what you are trying to shed from me now. Let the delay prepare me, not just the situation. Shape me to hold the blessing you are shaping to give. And while I wait, help me be faithful. Faithful in the small, faithful in the unseen, faithful in the quiet. Let me show up with integrity even when the results are not immediate. Let me speak words of encouragement even when I need them myself. Let me be generous even when I feel empty. Let me walk with hope even when I am still longing. Today, I choose to see delay as divine. I choose to trust that your timing is layered with wisdom, that you see the whole picture while I see only a corner, that you are not withholding to punish me, but holding back to protect me. I choose to stay in rhythm with you. I choose to wait not with clenched fists, but with open hands, not with fear, but with trust, not with frustration, but with quiet expectation. And if today holds stillness again, I want to see it as lack. I will see it as the space where your spirit breathes. I will honor the waiting as part of the journey. I will believe that the promise is still on the way, and that every pause carries purpose. I will sit with you, not just for answers, but because you are enough even without them. And I will whisper yes again, even if all you are asking me to do today is be still. Lord, if the stillness I sit in is not emptiness but protection, then let me learn to treasure it. Let me stop resisting the quiet as if it means you are absent. You are not absent. You are ahead. You are active even when I cannot trace the movement. You are guarding me from dangers I cannot perceive, working behind the walls I do not even know are there. And so I come to you now, not asking to see everything, but asking to trust what I cannot see. I want to live with the kind of peace that is not tied to outcomes or evidence, but to your quiet strength. There are so many moments when I have felt fear without knowing why. Something in the air shifts, something in my chest tightens, and anxiety wraps itself around my thoughts before I even understand what triggered it. But maybe those moments are not just emotional noise. Maybe they are places where you are fighting for me, shielding me, intercepting what would have shaken me to the core had you not stepped in. And if that is true, then I do not want to fear the unknown. I want to worship the unseen. I want to become more aware of how many storms you have silenced before they ever reached me. God, remind me that not all victories come with trumpet sounds. Some come quietly, without headlines, without explanation. Some battles are won before I even knew they had begun. You have pulled me back from edges I did not see. You have rerouted me from conversations I thought I needed. You have kept me from places that looked harmless until time revealed the danger they carried. And I will never know the full number of threats you have removed or the traps you have dismantled. But I know this: you do not sleep. You do not grow tired. You are always alert, always guarding, always one step ahead of harm. So I bring you the places where my peace feels fragile. I bring you the parts of my life that make me tense without clear reason. The names I worry about, the situations I try to prepare for, the fears that wear different faces, but whisper the same message: you are not safe. Lord, I ask you to speak louder than those whispers. Speak peace where panic wants to grow. Speak calm over the noise I create in my mind, trying to predict every outcome. Speak stillness into my soul, where I have allowed worry to build its home. If I am walking into rooms today that seem harmless on the outside, but carry hidden heaviness, then go ahead of me. If there are decisions I will face where the danger is not in what is obvious, but in what is hidden beneath the surface, then cover me in advance. If there are people who carry chaos in their presence, and I do not yet know how they will affect me, then help me discern before I react. Shield my spirit, guard my peace, protect my space. And when I forget to ask, when I charge ahead too quickly, still protect me. Still go before me like a loving father who does not punish but preserves. I know that trust does not mean nothing will ever go wrong. It means that when something does, undo me. Because you are with me. Because you have gone before. Because you have prepared me without me realizing it. And even in the places where harm does come, you turn it back on itself. You make what was meant to break me become what builds me. You take every attack and bend it into purpose. You waste nothing, not even the battles I never see. And that gives me confidence, not arrogance. Gratitude, not control. So today I refuse to walk like someone unguarded. I refuse to live like I am unprotected. I won't let fear decide what I say yes to or what I run from. I will carry peace, not because I know what is ahead, but because I know who is ahead. And if anxiety comes knocking again, I won't fight it alone. I will remind it that you stand at the door, that you are the one who answers before I even cry for help, that your presence is not something I need to earn, it is already promised, already surrounding, already holding me even now. Lord, I ask you to assign angels to places I do not even know are vulnerable, to shield my home in ways that technology and planning never can, to watch over my loved ones with eyes that never close, to send peace ahead like a scout preparing the way, so that when I arrive, I can sense it, walk in it, and let it carry me forward. I ask you to interrupt anything that would hijack my peace today, whether it is an unexpected message, a broken plan, or a sudden change. I trust you to rearrange what needs to be delayed, paused, or removed. I give you full authority to step into my schedule and redirect it if it protects my soul. I know there are battles you fight for me that will never make it into my journal, because I will never know they happened. But let my spirit grow more aware. Let me walk with quiet confidence, not based on what I can prepare for, but based on the security of being deeply known and guarded. Let me rest in the knowledge that you are the kind of God who not only walks with me, but walks ahead of me and clears the path I cannot see. That the worst-case scenarios my mind invents are no match for the power of your covering. And so I surrender my need to understand everything. I release the lie that I can keep myself safe by being more careful, more informed, or more in control. I trust you to handle what I can't anticipate. I lean into the mystery of how you work, how you defend, how you show up without being asked. Let that become the rhythm of my breath today. Let it be the anchor that holds when plans shift or news, surprises, or challenges rise up out of nowhere. Let my peace be rooted not in what I see, but in the confidence that you never leave the front line of my life. And when I lie down again tonight, let me look back and see traces of the peace you planted ahead of me. Let me recognize how I was steadied without effort, calmed without explanation, and held without realizing the full weight of what could have been. Let that awareness turn into worship. Let it remind me that every ordinary day is filled with extraordinary mercy. Let it teach me to walk lighter, breathe slower, and live with the deep assurance that I am not exposed, I am sheltered, chosen, and fully covered. God, if you have been shielding me from unseen battles, then I believe you are also the one calling me forward now. I can feel it, something stirring in my heart, something asking for movement. And even though part of me still wants to stay hidden in the safety of what is familiar, another part knows the time has come to step into the water. The waiting has shaped me. The remembering has grounded me. And now, Faith must become action. I do not want to live my life paused in fear of what might happen. I want to walk with the quiet courage of someone who knows you go before me. So here I am, facing a Jordan of my own, a place that seems impossible to cross without your help. A decision, a conversation, a challenge, an assignment, something that feels bigger than what I can handle. I am not asking you to remove it. I am asking you to meet me in it, to stand with me at the edge of it and whisper, now, because I want to obey. I want to follow you even when my feet shake. I want to move forward not recklessly, but faithfully, not out of pressure, but because you said it is time. Lord, give me the kind of courage that does not wait for all the details to make sense. Let me move not because I feel confident, but because I trust your presence more than I trust my own understanding. The river might look wide and the current might seem strong, but I remember that you have parted waters before, and if you did it then, you can do it again, whether by parting, lifting, slowing, or simply strengthening my legs to walk through. I do not need to predict the miracle. I just need to step toward it. There are things I have been hesitating to begin, ideas I have tucked away, roles I have shrunk back from, people I have avoided out of fear. And maybe this is the day you are saying, take the first step, not because the timing is perfect in my eyes, but because obedience is never about perfection, it is about trust. So help me be brave. Help me speak where I have been silent. Help me show up where I have been retreating. Help me reach out even if I am not sure how it will be received. Help me lead. Help me serve. Help me say yes even if the yes costs something. I do not want to keep circling the same hesitations. I do not want to stay stuck because I am waiting to feel fully ready. Maybe I never will. But if you are with me, then I do not have to be completely ready. I just have to be willing. Willing to move with you. Willing to trust your hand, even when the road ahead looks like deep water. Willing to place one foot forward, even if that foot trembles. You are not asking for perfection. You are asking for faith. You are asking for surrender. And I want to give it, not halfway, not cautiously, but completely. God, I want to romanticize courage like it always feels bold and loud. I know that sometimes courage looks quiet. It looks like showing up again to something that feels thankless. It looks like making a phone call you have been putting off. It looks like apologizing first or forgiving before the apology comes. It looks like starting over when you thought you were finished, or trying again when disappointment still echoes in your chest. I do not ask for easy courage. I ask for real courage, the kind that is honest, humble, and rooted in you. And if stepping forward today means disappointing someone else because I am choosing to obey you, give me the peace to accept that. If walking toward what you have called me to means releasing something I thought I needed, give me the grace to let go without resentment. If this next step leads me into tension or unfamiliar places, remind me that discomfort does not mean danger. It might just mean growth. I do not want safety more than I want obedience. I do not want comfort more than I want your presence. Let today be the day I stop standing on the shoreline, waiting for conditions to be perfect. Let this be the day I place my foot into the water and trust that you will meet me there. Let faith move from my mouth to my muscles. Let it live in my schedule, my choices, my attitude, my presence. Let it be seen not for the sake of appearances, but as evidence of your spirit alive in me. I want people to see you in my courage, not because I look strong, because I keep showing up even when it is hard. And when the moment comes when I face the meeting, the task, the conversation, the risk, I ask you to go before me as you always do. Clear what needs clearing. Strengthen what needs holding. Soften what needs shifting. Let me walk into the moment not with fear, but with the quiet awareness that I am not alone, that I am stepping into territory you have already claimed, that this moment is not random, it is part of the path you designed. And when resistance comes, and I know it might help me not interpret it as a sign I misheard you, help me not retreat just because something pushes back. Remind me that Jordan rivers do not always part right away. Sometimes the miracle happens after the foot is already in the water. Sometimes the change happens while I am moving, not before. So do not let fear use the unknown as a weapon. Let faith use the unknown as a bridge to walk across, one deliberate step at a time. This is not about rushing or proving or impressing anyone. It is about being faithful. It is about saying yes to you. And if my only accomplishment today is that I moved when you said move, then that is more than enough. That is obedience. That is success. That is worship. I trust that you will take care of the outcomes. You always have. You always do. So I step forward now not because I am fearless, but because I trust the one who leads. Not because I feel certain, but because you are certainty itself. And I know you are already on the other side of this. Already waiting. Already preparing the ground beneath my feet. Father, if you are already on the other side of every step I take, then you are also already standing in the places where I fear weakness. You are not just present in the spiritual or emotional parts of my life. You are Lord over this body to the one that carries me through every single day, sometimes with strength and sometimes with strain. So today, I bring you this physical body, this skin and bone, breath and blood, this frame that so often feels like it limits me, defines me, or betrays me. I bring it to you not to complain, but to invite you in. You see everything I am dealing with, the tension that builds without warning, the exhaustion that clings even after rest, the sharp edges of pain that flare up and then vanish, only to return again, the symptoms I try to explain to others, and the ones I keep to myself. You know what the doctors know, and you know what they do not. You see what scans miss. You understand the things even I do not have language for. Nothing in my body is hidden from you, not the aging cells, not the unspoken fears, not the quiet breaking that happens beneath the surface of a functioning smile. And still, you stay. Still, you love this frame. Still, you call it worthy of care. So I ask you today, God, to walk through my physical body like a gentle healer. Move through my bloodstream, breathe into my lungs, settle into my joints, steady my heartbeat, strengthen the weary parts, quiet the overstimulated ones, calm every system where stress has taken up residence like an unwelcome guest. Bring balance to what has been out of rhythm. Bring light into places where fatigue has cast shadows. I believe you created this body not as a burden, but as a vessel to carry your goodness, a vessel to serve, to love, to move, to witness, and to worship. And even when it aches or falters, it is still fearfully and wonderfully made. So help me see it through your eyes, not through the lens of comparison or frustration, but through the lens of sacred care. I do not want to resent my body for its limits. I want to honor it for its endurance. I want to thank it for what it continues to do, even when it is hurting. If there is healing I need that I have not dared to ask for, I ask now. Whether it is recovery from an illness, relief from chronic pain, reversal of a diagnosis, or restoration after injury, I place it in your hands, not with entitlement, but with hope. Not demanding, but trusting, because I have seen you heal in ways that defy logic. I have heard stories that only grace could explain, and I have felt your hand on my life before, steadying what was falling, strengthening what was worn thin. So I ask, in that same spirit, for you to intervene where only you can. And while I wait, help me live gently with this body. Help me feed it, move it, rest it, and listen to it not in fear or obsession, but with patience and grace. Teach me that healing is not just the miracle that happens overnight. Sometimes it is the process of slowly rebuilding. Faithfully, tending, showing up day after day even when change feels small. Give me wisdom to make choices that nourish instead of punish. Give me discernment to say no when I need to. Give me boldness to seek help when I have tried to carry too much alone. For the days when energy is low and the world feels too fast, remind me that rest is not failure, that naps can be sacred, that slowing down can be obedience. That saying, I need a moment, is not weakness, it is stewardship. And for the days when I wake up strong, when I can breathe deeply and move freely, let me celebrate that strength without taking it for granted. Let me use it not just for myself, but for the good of others. Let me serve with hands that are willing, with feet that are ready, and with a heart that remembers how fragile and beautiful this gift really is. God, I also bring you the fear that sometimes lingers beneath the surface of physical pain, the questions I am afraid to ask, the stories I have heard of others who did not recover, the worry that something is wrong and I won't catch it in time. I do not want fear to live in my body. I do not want anxiety to occupy space you intend for peace. So I surrender it to you, all of it. The unknowns, the symptoms, the test results, the daily aches, the monthly patterns, the long-term concerns. Every single part of this living, breathing body, I give it to you again. And for those I love who are hurting right now, I lift them to you too. Whether they are battling illness, recovering from surgery, managing chronic conditions, or facing discouragement because healing seems far away, I ask you to meet them right where they are. Be their comfort. Be their physician. Be their hope. Surround them with care that goes beyond what medicine can offer. Wrap them in the warmth of your nearness. Remind them they are not alone in this fight. You are beside them, even when no one else sees the battle they are fighting. Let this body I live in become a testimony, not just if you heal it completely, but even if you simply teach me how to live inside it with more grace. Even if you bring peace before you bring relief. Even if the miracle is endurance instead of escape. Let my life bear witness to the truth that you are God over flesh and bone. That you do not ignore weakness. That you are not distant from suffering. That your love touches every cell. That your kindness flows into the very fibers of who I am. And as I move through this day, whatever it holds, tasks, appointments, conversations, or quiet, I will carry this body as a sacred space. Not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. Every breath a gift. Every heartbeat a reminder. Every step an offering. Lord, if you care so deeply for my physical body, I know you care even more for the hidden places in my heart, the parts no one sees. The wounds that do not leave bruises, but still ache when touched. As I learn to be gentle with what is visible, teach me also to be honest about what lies beneath. You know where the real pain lies. You know the words that got stuck inside of me, because I never had the courage to say them out loud. You know the events I have minimized, but never truly healed from. You know the weight I carry behind every quiet sigh and every forced smile. So I bring you my heart, not the polished version I show the world, but the honest one. The one that still flinches when certain memories surface. The one that feels tender in places I have tried to ignore. The one that wants to trust more fully, but sometimes does not know how. I do not come looking for a quick fix. I come asking for a deep kind of healing. The kind that does not just patch things over, but makes things whole again. The kind that meets me in the middle of the mess and says, "You do not have to pretend anymore. God, I confess there are places in me that still feel broken. Places shaped by rejection, by betrayal, by loss. Some of those wounds go back further than I can remember, rooted in things I did not even choose. Others come from people I let in, close people I loved, trusted, or looked up to. Maybe they did not mean to hurt me, or maybe they did. Either way, the pain left its mark, and I have tried to carry it in silence. Tried to reason my way around it, tried to numb it or forget it altogether. But no distraction can truly heal a heart that is still bleeding inside. You are not afraid of my hurt. You do not rush past it. You do not shame me for still feeling it. Instead, you move closer. You lean in. You sit with me in the places I have tried to shut off. You ask questions not to expose me, but to invite me into honesty. So I am saying the words now. Even if they come out slowly, I am naming what happened. I am facing the grief. I am acknowledging that it still stings, that it still matters, that the tears still come sometimes, even when I thought they were finished. And in that honesty, I ask for healing. I ask you to reach into the layers where memory and meaning have tangled into lies I believed. Lies that said I was too much or not enough. Lies that said I deserved to be left. Lies that said I had to earn love by being perfect. Lies that whispered I should keep quiet to keep the peace. Peel those layers back gently. Lord, unwind the words that never came from you. Replace them with truth that anchors, that frees, that restores. I do not just want to feel better. I want to be free. I want to forgive, not just because it is the right thing, but because I am tired of holding pain like it is mine to protect. I want to let go of bitterness that has grown roots where peace should have been. I want to release the people who hurt me into your hands, not to pretend it did not matter, but to trust that you are just and kind enough to carry what I cannot. Give me the grace to forgive, even if I have to do it slowly, even if I have to choose it again. Help me begin that journey right here, right now. And Lord, if the one I need to forgive is myself, help me start there. I have judged myself harshly for choices I made while I was hurting. I have replayed conversations and moments where I wish I could go back and do it differently. I have blamed myself for not seeing the warning signs, for not being stronger, for not saying no, or for not letting go. But you do not speak with shame. You speak with mercy, and your mercy says, you were doing the best you could. Your mercy says, you are not stuck there anymore. Your mercy says, come home. So I return to you not just with my faith, but with my sorrow, not just with praise, but with the pieces of my heart that still feel fragile. Touch them with your tenderness. Rebuild what was torn. Restore what was lost. Renew the parts of me that I have hidden, buried, or abandoned. Remind me that healing is not weakness, that grieving is not a lack of faith, that the heart you gave me is allowed to feel, to ache, to recover. I do not want to hide those emotions from you anymore. You are the safest place I know. And when memories return that try to pull me backward, remind me that I am not who I was when those things happened. I am not trapped in that moment. I am not defined by that pain. I have been growing, healing, transforming, even on the days I did not feel it, even when I thought I was standing still. And now, I want to walk forward not as someone who has everything figured out, but as someone who is no longer afraid to be whole. Let today be part of that healing. Let it be a step toward peace, even if I do not yet see the finish line. Let it be a sacred pause where you speak over my heart again and say, you are mine. You are safe. You are not beyond repair. I want to believe that more deeply. I want to carry it into my conversations, into my relationships, into the way I talk to myself. Let your truth take root in the places where pain once ruled. Let your voice rise louder than the echoes of yesterday. And for every heart around me that is hurting too, whether they show it or hide it, help me see them with compassion. Help me listen better. Speak softer and love deeper. Let the healing you do in me ripple outward. Let it make me a person who carries gentleness, who extends grace, who holds space for others to be real. I do not want to keep my healing to myself. I want to walk in a way that makes others believe healing is possible for them too. So I open my heart again, even the corners I have kept closed, even the doors I said would stay locked. I let you in, not to judge or shame or fix, but to love, to restore, to breathe life into what was once forgotten. I trust you with every part of me, not just the part that praises, but the part that still aches, not just the part that smiles, but the part that is still learning how to believe in joy again. I trust that you are patient, that you are kind, and that you finish what you start, God. As you continue to heal the deeper places in me, I can feel it, the tension starting to lift, the walls slowly coming down. And yet, fear still tries to hold its place. Even when I breathe easier, even when the tears have dried, fear lurks in the corners, whispering what ifs and worst-case scenarios. So today, I want to face it head-on. I do not want fear to be the lens I live through anymore. I do not want it deciding how I speak, how I love, how I move. I do not want it seated at the table when you have already prepared a place of peace. Father, I name it now. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of getting it wrong, fear of losing control, fear of what others think, fear of the unknown. They are all heavy, and they have taken up space in me for far too long. I have rearranged my life to make them comfortable. I have let them occupy decisions that were not theirs to influence. I have let them steal sleep and silence my voice, but no more. They do not get to live here. Not when you have called me to freedom. So this is the eviction notice, not in anger, not in panic, but in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing I am not alone. You are here, and where your spirit is, fear has no authority. Where your light is, darkness has no power. You did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So I lean into that promise today. I breathe it in and let it settle deep. I choose to believe that fear is not my protector. You are. Fear is not my guide. You are. Fear is not my future. You are. Lord, I ask you to shine light into every place where fear has been hiding. The unspoken expectations I place on myself, the secret pressure to always be strong, the reluctance to hope because disappointment might come. I do not want to keep managing fear. I want it gone. I want to stand on truth, not tiptoe around anxiety. I want to walk forward with purpose, not hesitate at every unknown door. So I invite you into those places now. Speak louder than the lies. Calm the noise with your steady presence. When fear tells me I am too broken, remind me I am already being rebuilt. When it says I am alone, remind me of every time you stayed. When it screams that the worst is coming, remind me that even in the valley, you are still God. And when it tries to shame me for being afraid at all, remind me that courage is not the absence of fear, it is choosing to walk anyway, hand in hand with you. Today, I speak peace over my body, peace over my mind, peace over my emotions. Let my nervous system feel what my spirit knows, that you are in control, that I am safe in your care. Let the tension release, the tightness ease, the panic fade. Replace it with calm, not fake calm, not forced stillness, but real rest that comes from trusting you deeper than the fear. And God, if I start to spiral, if anxiety rises again, help me remember this moment. Help me return to the truth without shame. Remind me that healing takes time, but it also takes boldness, the boldness to say no when fear demands attention, the boldness to ask for help, the boldness to believe good things are still possible, the boldness to hope again even when hope once hurt. I do not want to build a life that tiptoes around fear. I want to build one that silences it with faith. I want to speak with clarity, act with courage, love with abandon, not because I never get afraid, but because fear does not get the final word. You do. And your word is life. Your word is truth. Your word is peace that passes understanding. So I choose to believe that peace can live inside me, even if the world around me is loud, even if circumstances do not change today, even if I do not feel brave every second. Let my peace be rooted in who you are, not in how things look. Let it be deep enough to hold me steady when the ground shakes. Let it grow from truth planted in the soil of trust. I want to water that soil today with your promises, with your presence, with reminders of who I am in you. I am not abandoned. I am not powerless. I am not at the mercy of fear. I belong to a God who sees everything and still holds it all in his hands. And if fear tries to return tomorrow, or even in the next hour, I will meet it differently. I will speak truth instead of rehearsing worry. I will worship instead of spiraling. I will pause and breathe instead of rushing ahead to fix what has not even gone wrong. I will remember that I do not need to see the whole path to take the next step. I just need to stay close to the one who walks with me. Lord, help me create space in my day where peace can take root, in my thoughts, in my choices, in my responses. Let my words reflect trust, not tension. Let my body move with rhythm, not restlessness. Let my prayers rise with boldness, not begging. I do not have to convince you to care, you already do. I do not have to earn safety, it has already been promised. I do not have to manage fear, I can release it into your hands. So I do that now. Every anxious thought, every silent dread, every over-prepared plan created from panic, I hand them over, and in exchange, I ask for peace. Lasting peace. Unshakable peace, not the kind that depends on perfect circumstances, but the kind that holds me in the storm and tells me, you are okay, you are held. Keep breathing. Keep walking. Let that be the truth I carry today. Let that be the voice that leads me. Not fear. Not pressure. Not what ifs. Just you. Just peace. Just this one step, with my heart steady and my spirit free. Father, if I can walk in peace that silences fear, then I also want to learn how to walk in provision that silences striving. There is something in me that always reaches ahead, tries to gather more than I need, stores up an energy for battles that have not even arrived. I chase security like it is something I can earn. I stretch myself thin trying to stay ahead. But you never asked me to carry tomorrow. You only ever told me to trust you for today. So here I am, early in the day, already feeling the weight of what needs to get done. The tasks are lined up in my head, and the pressure creeps in before I even start. I feel it in my breathing, in the tightness of my shoulders, in the way I rush from one thought to the next without space between them. But you are calling me to something different. Not lazy, not careless, but surrendered. You are calling me to live like I believe that you are enough for this very moment. Not later. Not someday. Now, God, I have believed the lie that I have to do more to be safe, that I have to always be producing, achieving, proving that if I pause, I will fall behind, that if I do not push, things will fall apart. But you never asked me to be the one holding the world together. That is your job. You are the provider. You are the sustainer. You are the source. So I step back today and make room for that truth. I surrender the need to be everything. Fix everything. Prepare for everything. I ask for just what I need, no more, no less. Like manna in the wilderness, you offer enough for the day, not a month's supply, not a lifetime in advance, but a portion, a holy portion, a perfectly timed, precisely measured gift, not to control me, but to free me, to train my heart to look to you again each morning, each hour, each breath. I do not want to keep living in survival mode when you have called me to daily trust. I do not want to exhaust myself trying to earn what you give freely. I do not want to measure worth by output or identity, by how full my schedule looks. Lord, I bring you the real needs I am carrying today. Not just the physical ones, but the emotional ones too. I need wisdom for decisions I did not expect to face. I need strength to do what has been sitting on my list for too long. I need focus to finish the things that matter and let go of the things that do not. I need grace for interruptions, for slow progress, for unplanned conversations that might matter more than my goals. And I need you to provide peace in the moments that feel too small to count, but too heavy to ignore. If I am chasing affirmation today, stop me gently. If I am pushing to prove my value, interrupt me. If I am working out of fear, thy one T have enough. Remind me that I have never walked through a day you did not provide for in some way. If I am comparing my capacity to someone else's, help me step back and breathe again. Remind me that I am not behind. I am not less. I am not in competition with anyone when I walk in your rhythm. God, help me honor my energy instead of overextending it. Help me say no without guilt. Help me take breaks without shame. Help me choose rest before I reach the edge of burnout. Let rest be something I protect, not something I apologize for. Let stillness be something I practice, not postpone. And when the world glorifies hustle and exhaustion, let me be someone who chooses margin, who chooses presence, who chooses to live at the pace of grace. If the need in front of me is financial, I trust you to meet it. If it is emotional, I trust you to tend it. If it is relational, I trust you to heal it. If it is spiritual, I trust you to feed it. Whatever the gap, you are the God who fills. and not with leftovers or just enough to scrape by, but with kindness, with abundance, with intentional care. I may not always recognize the way you provide, but help me never doubt that you will. And if provision today looks like a person showing up unexpectedly, let me recognize that it is from you. If it looks like time opening, where I thought there was none, let me pause and be grateful. If it looks like an idea, a new direction, or a window I had not seen before, let me walk through it without fear. If it looks like something ending, so something better can begin. Give me the courage to release what no longer fits. Provision is not always about more. Sometimes it is about letting go. Let me live with open hands today, not clenched in anxiety, not grasping in fear, but open to receive, open to release, open to rest. Let my work come from peace, not pressure. Let my tasks be done in faith, not frenzy. Let my efforts flow from identity, not insecurity. You are not measuring me by productivity. You are not impressed by how busy I am. You are inviting me into partnership, not performance. So I choose to believe that today will be enough. Enough strength, enough grace, enough focus, enough provision. I may not get everything done. I may not feel completely in control, but I will not be empty. I will not be alone, and I will not fall apart if things do not go perfectly, because perfection was never the goal, dependence was, and you are faithful in every hour. Let my eyes stay on you today, not on the clock, not on the list, not on the pace of the world around me. Let my worth be rooted in you. Let my peace be anchored in your sufficiency. Let my hands move only in the direction you lead, and let my soul rest in the freedom that I do not have to manufacture enoughness. You have already given it, in every breath, in every moment, in every single gift of this new day. Lord, as I rise into this day with open hands, I find myself once again in need of your voice to guide me. The quietness of the morning brings clarity, but also reveals crossroads ahead. Not everything is obvious. Not every decision is black and white. Some choices carry weight that stretches beyond this moment, and others seem small but still stir something deep in me. I do not want to rush past them. I do not want to rely on instinct or pressure or the opinions of others when what I truly long is your whisper of direction. Father, yesterday reminded me how exhausting it is to try to do everything alone, to push through uncertainty by pretending to be confident, to move just to be moving. But you are not a God of confusion. You are not distant or silent or cryptic. You are a lamp to my feet, a light to my path. You lead with wisdom, not with chaos. So today, I ask not only for provision, but also for discernment, for eyes to see what matters, for ears to hear the difference between noise and your nudges, for a heart that listens more than it fears. God, I am facing choices I did not expect, conversations I do not know how to start, opportunities that both excite and overwhelm me. Do I take the next step or wait for confirmation? Do I speak or stay silent? Do I say yes or hold back? These questions echo in my mind, but I bring them to you because I trust you see the entire road even when I can only see the bend ahead. I trust that you are not rushing me, but also let me stay stuck in indecision. If I have been leaning on my own understanding, show me gently. If I have been choosing comfort over calling, reveal that in love. If fear has been posing as wisdom, expose it. Help me sort through the thoughts that race through my mind, not just to eliminate confusion, but develop the kind of clarity that comes from abiding in you, the kind of clarity that is not always loud, but always true. I do not need a booming voice or a billboard. I just need your peace to fill the room where my questions live. Lord, I have seen how even the smallest decisions can shift the direction of a day, a relationship, a life. That is why I do not want to be careless. I do not want to follow feelings that change like the wind. I do not want to default to what is easy or familiar. If you are inviting me into growth, give me the courage to go where you are leading, even if it is unfamiliar. Give me the patience to wait when the answer is not immediate. Give me the faith to move even when I do not have all the steps mapped out. There is beauty in being led, even if pride does not always like to admit that. There is peace in trusting that I do not have to have it all figured out, that I can take one step at a time and you will meet me there. That wisdom is not about control, but about surrender, and that the wisest thing I can do today is to stay close to the shepherd who knows the terrain better than I ever could. If you are closing a door I wanted to walk through, help me release it without bitterness. If you are opening a new one that scares me, give me boldness to step into it with faith. If you are asking me to wait when I want to act, help me see waiting not as punishment, but as preparation. And if you are saying yes when I have been hesitant, confirm it through peace that lingers beyond my own reasoning. God, let integrity be my compass and truth be my anchor. Let me not compromise for convenience. Let me not bend values for applause. Let me not settle for imitation when you have called me to something real. In moments where choices feel foggy, let your spirit rise within me like morning light cutting through haze. Let conviction come not with heaviness, but with hope. Let clarity come not with fear, but with freedom. I know that wisdom does not always come in a flash. Sometimes it arrives quietly, through stillness, through counsel, through scripture, through repeated peace. Let me be sensitive to how you speak, not just looking for signs, but cultivating a posture of attentiveness. Let me consult your word before I consult the world. Let me be willing to walk away from what glitters, if it does not bear the weight of your truth. And when I do move forward, Lord, let my steps reflect your nature, slow to anger, rich in mercy, overflowing in love. Let the decisions I make today ripple goodness into the lives around me. Let me be someone who chooses not just what benefits me, but what honors you, someone who listens before speaking, who considers long-term impact more than short-term gain, who walks humbly, even when the path is steep. If others are affected by what I decide, help me carry that with care. Help me not to manipulate or control outcomes, but to act with integrity and faith. Help me communicate with honesty and clarity, not with defensiveness or hidden motives. Let me be transparent where transparency brings trust, and discreet where wisdom requires silence. Let love and truth walk hand in my decisions today. I know mistakes are still possible. I know I may not always get it right. But remind me that your grace is not fragile, that your guidance is not withdrawn just because I miss a step, that you correct with kindness, not shame, that you restore paths, redeem choices, reroute journeys when hearts are still turned toward you, that it is never too late to realign with the direction of peace. So as I look at the decisions in front of me, some large and looming, others quiet and easy to overlook, I choose not to panic. I choose to be still, to seek, to listen. I trust that the same God who parted seas can part confusion, that the same God who led through wilderness can lead through the noise of today, that the same God who is present in big moments is just as present in small, unseen ones. Let my discernment be sharpened by time in your presence, not dulled by distraction. Let my steps be planted by truth, not by trends. Let my eyes stay on you so I can move with confidence, not hesitation. And even when the answer is wait or not yet or trust me anyway, let my heart respond not with frustration, but with quiet assurance that you are always faithful, always wise, always near. God, now that I have placed my present and my decisions into your hands, I realize how much of my future is still shaped by the parts of my past I have not fully surrendered. There are memories that still linger like fog, emotions that resurface in silence, wounds I thought time had buried but still breathe beneath the surface. And so I bring them to you not with shame, not with explanation, just with open hands and a heart that longs to be made whole. Father, there are things I rarely talk about, seasons I survived but never processed, words that were spoken over me that still echo in quiet corners of my mind. I have tried to outrun them, to outwork them, to distract myself from them. But you do not ask me to hide. You invite me to bring even the fragments I would rather forget and lay them before you, not for judgment, but for healing. You are not repelled by my broken places. You are drawn to them with mercy. Lord, I know you saw it all, the betrayal that caught me off guard, the abandonment that cut deep, the silence when I needed comfort, the fear that crept in and took root. You saw the moments I was misunderstood, overlooked, or falsely accused. You heard the words that were never apologized for. You noticed the people who left when I thought they would stay. You held me in moments I thought I was alone. And now, even if I have learned to function with the pain, I want more than survival. I want restoration. There is a difference between pretending something does not hurt and allowing it to be healed. I choose healing. I choose to let you into the memories I have tried to manage by myself. I choose to believe that no scar is too deep for your touch, no story too twisted for redemption. I choose to believe that the same hands that shaped the universe can hold my heart with tenderness and strength, that you are not only the God of my future, but the healer of my past. Help me untangle the lies I have believed, lies that say I am unworthy, too damaged, too far gone. Help me silence the voices that shame me for still being affected, still being vulnerable, still being human. Help me remember that grief is not weakness, that healing is not linear, that some days the strongest thing I can do is to be honest about where it still hurts, and that you are not impatient with that honesty. You welcome it. God, I ask you to enter into the moments that shaped me in unhealthy ways. Rewrite the narratives that distorted how I see myself, others, and even you, where rejection planted fear. Plant security where absence bred anxiety. Grow peace where failure fed perfectionism. Release grace where trauma distorted trust. Restore safety where comparison rooted jealousy. Grow contentment where bitterness hardened my heart. Soften it with love. If there are names I need to forgive, but have not been able to say out loud, meet me there. If there are situations I still do not understand, give me peace that does not depend on answers. If I have assigned blame to myself that does not belong to me, release that weight. If I have carried identities based on pain instead of purpose, help me set them down and pick up truth. Let me not just cope, but be transformed. Lord, you are not asking me to relive my past, only to relinquish, to let you redeem what I have tried to repair, to let you make beauty out of ashes, not by pretending the fire never happened, but by using even the ruins to build something new. I believe you can do that. I believe you already are. Remind me that healing does not mean forgetting. It means remembering differently. It means looking back and seeing your presence, even in the places I thought you were absent. It means learning to tell my story, not through the lens of shame, but through the lens of your faithfulness. It means allowing you to write the final word over moments I thought defined me. Sometimes I wonder how much of my defensiveness, my fear of intimacy, my striving for perfection, my struggle with trust all stem from past wounds that have not yet healed. If so, I invite you to go deeper than behavior and reach the root. To remove not just the symptoms but the source. To teach me how to live free, not just act like I am. There are people I miss but can't bring back. Doors I closed but still glance back at. Memories that visit uninvited. But even here, I know you are enough. You are not just present in what is ahead. You are present in what has been. You were with me then, even when I did not see you. And now, you are still with me, offering healing that does not erase, but restores, that does not pretend, but redeems. Help me show compassion to myself in this process, to not rush past the pain or scold myself for not being over it yet, to hold space for my humanity while leaning into your divinity, to weep if I need to, and to laugh when joy returns, to give myself permission to be in progress, and to believe that healing is a holy journey you walk with me, not a test I have to pass alone. Let forgiveness flow not because they earned it, but because I need to be free. Let peace rise not because circumstances have changed, but because you dwell in me. Let gratitude emerge not because the story was painless, but because you are the author who is still writing. Let me stop rehearsing the worst-case scenarios and start rehearsing your goodness. And Lord, if my healing can help someone else heal, let it be so. If my story can make someone feel less alone, use it. If the scars I carry can become signs of hope for others still bleeding, shine through them. Don't let my pain be wasted. Use it for something bigger than me. Let it become a bridge of empathy, a doorway of ministry, a testimony of grace. I trust that you see the whole mosaic, not just the broken tiles, that you are weaving beauty from pain, even when I only see threads, that you are not done with me yet, and you never will be. So I lean into this process not with fear, but with faith, not with pressure, but with surrender, knowing that as long as I stay close to you, I will always be walking toward wholeness, one healed memory at a time. God, even as I trace the quiet echoes of your previous blessings, I feel you gently shifting my eyes toward what lies beyond my understanding. Nothing in my path today unfolded exactly as I imagined. And yet, something deep within whispers that you are present in the unpredictability. You are the God who hides beauty in detours, who tucks blessings into broken places, who fills unexpected voids with purposes I never dreamed. And though I may not fully see the reason behind this morning as changes, I sense the invitation to trust you not only in the plan, but in the pivot. Father, how often I have prayed for clarity, not realizing you were offering something greater, faith. And today, I see it. I see that what you withheld was not punishment, but preparation, not silence, but a strategic rearranging. You reroute me not to confuse, but to protect, to refine, to teach me how to walk not by sight, but by surrender. You remove pieces I thought I needed only to reveal what was truly essential. Your presence, your guidance, your goodness. And so, even when things fall apart, they somehow fall into place under your sovereign hand. Lord, my natural mind clings to patterns and predictability. I crave familiarity. But you are not a predictable God. You are a God of holy disruption. You are the burning bush in the wilderness, the manna that falls in the desert, the water that gushes from a rock. You turn graves into gardens and death into life. So today, as my plans unravel, I choose to believe that what feels like chaos may actually be the canvas of your creativity. What feels like loss might be the seedbed of divine growth. And what seems delayed might be perfectly aligned with your timing. God, I am beginning to understand that some of your greatest gifts do not come in the packages I expect. They arrive through closed doors, sudden changes, and sacred interruptions. They come wrapped in the unexpected. And rather than resist, I want to respond. Rather than complain, I want to commune. Help me not to judge a moment by its outward appearance, but to discern your hidden fingerprint in every shift. Let my spirit remain tender and attentive, listening not just for thunder, but for whispers, those subtle nudges that redirect without explanation, yet lead to fulfillment. Father, thank you for stretching my trust in ways that grow me. Thank you for showing me that faith is not just holding on to you when everything is clear, it is clinging to you when nothing makes sense. Today, I release my demand for control. I surrender my expectations and welcome your divine surprises. For you have never failed to turn confusion into clarity, ashes into beauty, and disappointment into deeper dependence. I want to be shaped not by circumstances, but by your spirit, molded not by what I hoped would happen, but by what you know must happen. Lord, I invite you to take the steering wheel completely. Detour me if you must. Pause my steps if it means protecting me from harm. Elevate me if it brings you glory. Humble me if it roots me deeper in grace. Do what you must, because I trust that the outcome of your will far outweighs the temporary comfort of my plan. I choose to move forward today not with rigid goals, but with a flexible heart, not with clenched fists, but with open hands, not with fear, but with faith that you are leading even in the silence. God, I am done measuring the success of my day by how closely it matches my list. I want to measure it by how faithfully I responded to your voice. If you speak in the wind, I will listen. If you speak in stillness, I will be quiet. If you change everything without warning, I will choose to believe that something sacred is being birthed in the unknown. Keep me tender enough to be redirected, strong enough to walk into mystery, and wise enough to not demand an answer when you are offering peace instead. Father, I no longer want to chase perfection. I want to chase presence. I want to know you in the shifting, in the waiting, in the realigning. I want to be the kind of child who does not just trust you for miracles, but trusts you in the middle of a mess. Who does not just celebrate answered prayers, but worships through unanswered ones. Who does not only believe in victory, but also believes in your nearness in the valley. I want that depth of devotion, that unshakable awareness that you are with me, whether the day unfolds as expected or not. So Lord, here I am once again, heart open, expectations released, eyes fixed on you. Lead me into the unexpected with joy, into uncertainty with peace, into delay with patience, and into the unknown with courage. Let every shift remind me that I am not alone. I am guided, held, loved, and if today surprises me, may it also shape me. For I trust that whatever the path looks like, you go before me, and you are enough. Lord, in the quiet of this morning, my heart still carries echoes of yesterday's longing, but now there is a new stirring within, a gentle courage forming like dawn breaking over darkness. As you reminded me of the weight you gladly bore, my soul began to lift, not from strength of its own, but from the assurance that you are near and never weary. Now I sense you urging me to take another step, not backward into fear, but forward into the confidence only you can provide. I remember the moments when fear used to paralyze me, not just fear of circumstances, but fear of failing, of being unseen, unheard, unloved. I wore that fear like a second skin, thinking it protected me from disappointment. But it only kept me from the freedom you promised. Today, Lord, I no longer want a bout of fear. I want to rise with the certainty that you go before me, that you hem me in behind and before, that you lay your hand upon me not to push me down, but to lift me up. This truth is like a flame flickering within me, gaining strength with every breath I take in your presence. You say that perfect love casts out fear, and I believe that your love is the perfection that quiets every trembling place inside me. You do not ask me to muster courage alone. You are the source. When the storm within threatens to drown my resolve, you whisper peace. When my voice shakes with uncertainty, yours steadies mine. When my steps falter on unfamiliar ground, you guide me with unseen hands and an unwavering heart. You do not demand performance. You offer presence. God, I have long confused caution with wisdom, but now I see that there are moments when obedience looks like risk stepping when the path is not clear, trusting when the outcome is unknown, speaking when silence would feel safer. I want to choose faith over comfort, movement over stagnation, vision over fear. I want to step into the Jordan even before it parts. Not because I know what will happen, but because I know who goes with me. This confidence is not loud. It does not boast or brag. It is quiet, rooted in knowing that you are faithful when I am weak. It comes from watching how you have never failed, not once. Even when you were silent, you were working. Even when I was broken, you were rebuilding. Even when I resisted, you were still loving. So now I choose to walk forward, slowly if I must, but forward still. Let this small, trembling obedience be an offering. A declaration that I will no longer let fear write the story of my life. I lift up every place fear still hides in me, the fear of being alone, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of never being enough. I name them, not to empower them, but to release them. They are not mine to carry anymore. They have no place where your spirit dwells. You have not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. I receive that truth as my inheritance, my identity, my calling. You are not just a shelter from the storm. You are the one who commands it to cease. You do not merely walk beside me in the fire. You are the one who turns it into a refining place. So I will not fear the heat. I will trust the hands that hold the flame, and know they also hold me. Your confidence is not reckless. It is rooted in eternity. It sees beyond the temporary struggle and speaks life into the waiting. And when I forget again, because I know I might, remind me not with shame, but with tenderness. Let the wind on my face be your whisper. Let the sun on my skin be your embrace. Let the pages of your word be the map that leads me back when I lose my way. Let the stories of others who walked in trembling faith before me be reminders that I am not alone. The saints of old were not fearless, they were faithful. Lord, breathe into my lungs a fresh willingness to believe. I do not need the whole picture. I only need the next step and the courage to take it. Let today be marked not by the absence of fear, but by the presence of your Spirit guiding me through it. Let my hands be open, not clenched. Let my heart be soft, not guarded. Let my thoughts align with your truth, not my past wounds. I know now that courage is not the denial of fear, but the decision to trust you more than it. So I will walk into the unknown, not because I am brave, but because I am yours. And that is enough. You have never failed. You never will. Your voice is louder than the fear, your promise deeper than the doubt, and your love stronger than the storm. As I rise into this day, let confidence not in myself, but in you be my banner. Let trust be the shoes on my feet, faith the breath in my lungs, and love the rhythm of every heartbeat. This is not a confidence I have earned, but one you have gifted, and I will carry it gently, boldly, humbly, as I walk wherever you lead. Lord, as my heart continues to lean on the strength you have poured into my spirit, I begin to feel a stirring, a shift from trembling uncertainty to an emboldened trust that dares to believe you for the impossible, like the dawn that boldly casts away shadows. I sense your invitation to step forward, not timidly, not hesitantly, but with holy boldness that is born from knowing who you are and who I am in you. I remember the trembling voice within me that once asked, "What if I fail? What if the road ahead is too steep?" But today, Father, you replace those fears with declarations of truth. You whisper, "Be strong and courageous, for I am with you wherever you go." Those words are not merely poetic phrases, they are marching orders for my soul, a rallying cry to rise up from the lowlands of doubt into the high places of promise. I grasp the hand you extend and choose to step, even when I cannot see the next stone beneath my feet. There is a sacred fire growing in my chest, not of my own making but ignited by your spirit. It pushes me beyond comfort, calling me to love more boldly, to speak more freely, to serve with deeper passion, and to live with less fear of what others may say. This boldness is not arrogance, Lord. It is holy confidence, not in myself, but in you, a trust that if you have called me, you will equip me. If you have appointed the path, you will provide what is needed for each step. I think of David standing before Goliath, not with might or armor, but with unwavering belief in your name. I see Esther approaching the king, risking everything to fulfill the purpose you placed upon her life. I recall Peter stepping out onto the water, walking not on the waves, but on the weight of your word. And I realize, God, that faith is not merely internal. It moves. It speaks. It walks forward even when logic says to retreat. It dares to act because it is rooted not in circumstances, but in your character. So today, Lord, I ask you to infuse me with that kind of holy courage, the kind that is not shaken by rejection or hindered by delay. Let me love without fear of heartbreak. Let me give without calculating what I will get in return. Let me speak truth even if my voice trembles. Let me go where you send me, even if it leads through valleys. Because where you are, there is safety, even in the fire. And where you lead, there is victory, even in battle. Help me, Father, not to measure my obedience by the ease of the outcome, but by the purity of the calling. You never promised comfort, but you promised your presence. And that is more than enough. So whether you are calling me into a new job, a difficult conversation, season of uncertainty, or an act of generosity that stretches me, I say yes. My yes may be whispered, but it is real. It may be hesitant, but it is holy, because I trust the one who asks for it. Let my boldness today be clothed in humility and guided by compassion. Let me not confuse loudness with authority or confidence with control. Let my steps reflect a heart yielded to you, a heart that beats with the rhythm of heaven's courage. Let me be bold enough to forgive quickly, to apologize sincerely, to lift others up instead of defending myself. Let me be bold enough to wait when you say wait, and to move when you say go. And when fear tries to creep back in, remind me that fear is not my master. You are. Fear does not define my worth, dictate my future, or determine my effectiveness. Your perfect love casts out all fear, and I anchor myself in that love. I breathe it in like the morning air, letting it fill every crevice of doubt within me until there is no space left for hesitation. I picture myself walking onto the battlefield, not with weapons forged by man, with the full armor of God, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of readiness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. I do not shrink back. I stand tall, because I stand in you. And as I step forward into the unknown, I do so not alone, not aimlessly, but as one who is deeply known and divinely led. You, Lord, are my source of boldness, not success, not applause, not self-assurance, but you who raise the weak to walk in power, you who turn mourning into dancing, you who call fishermen to be world changers and shepherds to be kings, you who take trembling hearts and make them roar with purpose. That is the God I follow. That is the voice I obey. And so, I rise, not because the day is easy, not because I have it all together, but because you are faithful, you are enough, and I believe you are calling me to more. Not more performance, not more striving, but more surrender, more trust, more courage to live as one fully alive in your love. Lord, you who see even the shadows that linger behind our smiles, I come to you now with a trembling heart, still carrying the weight of the burdens that yesterday refused to let go. As I continue walking through this wilderness, the echoes of old doubts sometimes grow louder than the whispers of hope. And yet, as the silence of the early morning wraps around me, I sense your gentle presence steady, unwavering, not demanding words but simply offering to walk beside me. I remember how just moments ago, my soul dared to trust your path again, even when the map was still unreadable and the road winding. Now, as I take another hesitant step forward, I ask for more than just strength. I ask for companionship, for the comfort of knowing I do not navigate this valley alone. Every fear, every falter, every step that trembles under uncertainty, I offer it to you as my worship. Not polished, not proud, but real. There is something sacred about the middle of the journey, where the adrenaline of beginning fades and the finish line remains hidden. This is where doubt creeps in, disguised as logic, whispering that perhaps I misunderstood your promise, that maybe I was never meant to carry this hope so far. But God, you have shown me too many times before that your silence is not absence, that delay is not denial. So I hold on to that quiet assurance, the one that does not need proof to believe. I walk through this valley and feel the chill of loneliness, the rustle of dry leaves echoing my sighs. And yet, as I look closer, I see traces of your faithfulness, even here, flicker of sunlight filtering through the thickest canopy. the faint chirp of life reminding me the forest is not dead. These are your whispers, Lord, tender and true, telling me that even in the valley, I am seen. I am not forgotten. You never promised a path without pain, but you did promise presence. And so, in the spaces where joy once bloomed, but now feels distant, I ask you to plant something deeper: resilience. Gratitude, the kind of faith that grows wild when watered with tears. I want to stop measuring your love by my circumstances. I want to rest in the reality that you are good, not because life feels easy, but because you walk through every fire with me, never rushing me to heal, never shaming me for struggling. Father, help me redefine what it means to be strong, not the strength that suppresses sorrow or silences confusion, but the kind that allows me to fall apart in your arms and call that holy. Let me be brave enough to bring my fears to you, to say I do not understand without believing that honesty disqualifies me from your favor. You delight in truth in the inmost place, and so I give you mine fragmented, fragile, yet fully offered. When the road bends and I cannot see what waits around the curve, remind me that you already stand there. You are not confined to my past or limited by my pace. You are the God of the journey and the destination. You are the voice in the wind and the rock beneath my feet. You are the safe place my soul has always been searching for. Let every step through this valley become an altar. Let every tear become a seed. Let this be the part of my story where transformation takes root, not in the mountaintop celebration, but in the quiet faithfulness of simply continuing, even when I am tired, even when nothing around me seems to change. Teach me to worship not for what you do, but for who you are: constant, compassionate, and ever near. Even when I feel like I am walking in circles, you see progress. Even when I feel I have failed, you see faithfulness. Even when I want to give up, you whisper, just one more step. And somehow, your grace is enough to take it. Somehow, your hand is enough to hold mine through the fog. Somehow, this valley becomes sacred ground because you are here with me. So I will keep walking, not because the way is clear, but because you are trustworthy. I will keep trusting, not because I always feel strong, but because you are strong enough for the both of us. I will keep hoping, not because the outcome is guaranteed, but because your presence is, and that is enough. You are enough, God. As I continue in this quiet place with you, I carry with me the nearness of your presence that has wrapped around my spirit like a steady stream of light. The stillness of the morning is no longer empty, but filled with the hum of your grace, gently pressing into every crevice of my weakness. In these moments when my hands tremble and my steps falter, I remember that you do not ask me to be strong for you. Instead, you ask me to be honest, to be open, to be surrendered, because it is in my very weakness that your strength becomes my song. I confess that I often want to appear composed and in control, even before you. But there are days, Lord, when I am not composed, days when I wake up with 1,000 worries crawling through my mind, and peace feels like a distant stranger, yet here in this sacred space, I hear you remind me again and again that you are not repelled by my frailty. You are drawn to it. You come near to the broken-hearted and rescue those crushed in spirit. You lift the lowly. You cradle those who are weary. You are not a God who demands perfection. You are a Father who welcomes confession. You know how tired I can be, how deeply I ache for peace, not only in my circumstances, but in the caverns of my soul. I have tried to shoulder burdens too heavy for me. I have carried regrets like anchors, dragging them from day to day, believing I must somehow atone for what you already forgave. But you do not want my performance. You want my surrender. You do not need my strength. You long to give me yours. And so this morning, I come to you, empty-handed, but with my heart open like a field after the rain soft and ready. I release my pride that says, I should have had it all figured out by now. I let go of the image I try to uphold in front of others. I bring you the truth that I am tired, sometimes scared, sometimes lost, and I need you more than I need answers. I need you more than I need control. I need you more than I need to be understood by people. You are the one who understands me fully. You see the battles I fight in silence, the tears I hide behind smiles, the nights I lie awake rehearsing my failures. And you, God, do not flinch. You draw nearer still. You reach into the core of my being and remind me that I was never meant to live by my own might, that your strength is made perfect in my weakness, that the very cracks in me are the spaces where your light pours in. Teach me how to live from that strength, not by striving, but by abiding, not by pushing harder, but by leaning deeper. When I feel like I can take another step, remind me that you are carrying me. When the voices of fear rise up louder than my courage, speak truth into my heart, that you have not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When I am tempted to pretend, to hide, to mask my need, invite me again into the freedom of authenticity with you. Let your strength rise in me like the tide, steady and certain, moving past every shore of limitation I have built around myself. May it rise not just to help me survive, but to help me live fully, freely, joyfully. Help me to face this day with quiet confidence, not because I trust in my preparation, but because I trust in your provision. Not because I have everything under control, because you hold all things in your hand. You are the God who parted seas, who rained manna, who raised the dead, and yet you stooped down to lift my chin, to meet my eyes, to whisper, you are not alone. I do not walk into this day abandoned. I do not face these challenges forgotten. You are with me. You go before me. You are my rear guard. You stand beside me, stronger than every fear, more faithful than every friend. Let that truth become the anchor of my soul. When I am tempted to despair, remind me of your promises. When the winds of discouragement blow, help me hold fast to the cross. Where all my weakness met all your power, and the victory was won. Help me see my scars not as signs of defeat, but as stories of redemption. Proof that you were with me even in the fire. Today, I do not ask to be impressive. I ask to be real. I do not ask to be praised. I ask to be present with you. with others, with myself. I want to walk gently with a soul at rest, aware of your nearness in every ordinary moment, whether I am washing dishes or answering emails, sitting in traffic or holding someone's hand. Let me do it all with a quiet strength that flows not from me but from you. You are the lifter of my head, the steadying of my heart, the breath in my lungs. In you, I am not just surviving, I am being remade. You are turning my weakness into witness, my fatigue into faith, my scars into songs. And so I rest here, not in what I bring, but in who you are. Steady, strong, forever near, forever enough, God. In the hush that follows every storm, I find myself more aware of your quiet provision. The winds of worry may howl through the night, but when they pass, there is always a silence that reveals what was once hidden. That silence, Lord, carries the subtle sound of your sustaining grace. After the turmoil and the striving, after all the strength has been spent, you are still there, steady, unfazed, unwavering. You do not rush, and you do not panic. You move in perfect rhythm, teaching my heart to wait and watch rather than chase and strive. From the stillness of early morning, where the light creeps slowly across the floor, and the world holds its breath before stirring, I begin to see that abundance is not always loud. Sometimes it is gentle. Sometimes it hides in unnoticed places a look of kindness, a breath of peace, the flicker of hope. I used to measure your provision by the grandeur of breakthroughs, the largeness of blessings, but I am learning to recognize you in the quiet gift of enough. Enough breath to begin again, enough faith to face the unknown, enough strength to rise, even slowly. In stillness, I discover a different rhythm of dependence. Not frantic, not desperate, but deeply rooted in trust. I sit without answers, and yet I feel full. I release the need to grasp tightly to what slips between my fingers, and instead let your presence fill the space I once tried so hard to occupy with control. You are not limited by my rush or restlessness. You do not run on my schedule, and you are not confined by what I call urgent. You are timeless, eternal, moving in layers beyond my comprehension, yet always near enough to whisper when the noise fades. I used to think stillness meant absence, but now I know it is often the place where you speak most clearly. In the stillness, you do not shout to get my attention. You invite me to come closer, to listen deeper, to feel your hand steady mine when it trembles, to sense your spirit breathe life into the places I thought were barren. I am learning that sometimes the greatest provision is not in the removal of discomfort, but in the companionship of your peace within it. A peace that is not circumstantial but foundational, a peace that passes understanding, yet anchors every part of me. God, you do not need noise to prove your nearness. You do not need drama to demonstrate power. Your provision is often more like dew than rain, quiet, persistent, soaking deep before I even realize I have been sustained. You water the roots I cannot see. You answer prayers before I speak them. You anticipate needs I have not yet acknowledged. You prepare tables in valleys I have not walked into. And still, you wait patient, kind, never demanding, always faithful. So I yield, not in defeat, but in trust. I quiet my heart to align with yours. I surrender my rush to your rhythm. I open my hands, not to grasp more, but to receive what is already here. The stillness reminds me that your presence is not an event, but a dwelling place. It is not something I summon, it is something I settle into. A holy awareness that you are already working, already providing, even when I cannot trace the evidence. I do not need to feel everything to trust you are doing something. I do not need to see the full picture to know the artist is present. Even the breath in my lungs is a provision. Even the pause between heartbeats is a reminder that I am sustained by more than effort. I am held together by grace, carried not by momentum but by mercy. I do not live on achievements, but on every word that proceeds from your mouth. And in this still moment, I hear those words, words of comfort, words of promise, words that do not demand perfection, but invite presence. You do not call me to impress you. You call me to remain with you. Let my striving cease. Let my heart find rest not in completed tasks, but in completed trust. You are not waiting for me to perform. You are waiting for me to pause. You are not impressed by my hustle. You are drawn by my stillness, by my decision to sit at your feet, even when the world says to run. You provide not only the resources for the journey, but the calm to remember why I began it. You bring clarity in confusion, not by shouting answers, but by stilling the waters, so I can see my reflection again, your image, your child, your beloved. Father, when I become weary of waiting, remind me that stillness is not stagnation. It is preparation. It is not passivity, but receptivity. Like soil receiving rain, I open my spirit to absorb your nearness. Teach me to wait well, not with clenched fists, but with lifted hands. Let patience grow roots in my soul that no storm can rip out. Let trust bloom where fear once thrived. And let my eyes remain open long enough to recognize the miracle of daily bread in the absence of thunder. Even when I do not move, you move in me. Even when I feel paralyzed by indecision, you are guiding my thoughts toward peace. You redeem the pauses. You sanctify the silence. You enter the gaps where my words fall short and fill them with your presence. I may not know what is next, but I know you, and that knowing is enough to steady me. You are not just the God of outcomes, you are the God of in-betweens, the God of quiet mornings and long waiting seasons, the God who does not grow impatient with my slowness, but delights in my stillness. As I breathe in this moment, I feel my soul recalibrate. The noise fades, the weight lifts, the striving ends. I feel no need to prove, only to be, and being in you is the most abundant provision of all. God, even as the morning hours stretch on and our day unfolds with countless tasks and unforeseen turns, my soul returns to the stillness of your presence. The echo of trust resounds gently, reminding me that provision is not only about needs met, but about peace restored, confidence renewed, and assurance whispered in the ordinary moments. You are not simply the giver of things, but the restorer of hearts worn thin from striving. I pause again now, not because I lack, but because I want to realign. I want to see my circumstances not through the lens of fear or scarcity, but through the lens of faith that you are already moving ahead of me. As the world insists that hustle earns worth and urgency defines success, you invite me into holy rhythms, unhurried, unshaken. In you, there is enough time, enough grace, enough mercy for every mistake, and enough joy to spill over even in seasons of drought. I no longer want to carry burdens that do not belong to me. The illusion of control is heavy, but your yoke is easy. The outcome is not mine to orchestrate. My obedience is. So I surrender the obsession with outcomes, metrics, and timelines, and I return to the simplicity of obedience, one step, one act of trust, one whispered yes. You see every detail I overlook. While I worry about what is next, you are already there. While I plan and prepare, you are orchestrating divine appointments and unseen breakthroughs. The provisions you send are not always packaged in ways I expect. Sometimes they arrive through a change of plans, a delay that shields me, a closed door that saves me from unnecessary pain. Help me not to curse what I do not yet understand. Teach me to wait with wonder, to lean in with expectancy, and to resist the temptation to take matters into my own hands. The world often defines abundance by accumulation, but you define it by presence. I have chased after more, only to find that more things never satisfy the H for meaning in your presence. Even little becomes much. Even silence becomes sacred. Even waiting becomes a sanctuary. So when I feel empty, remind me that it is not a punishment, but an invitation. You are the God who fills, but first you make space. Let me not fear emptiness. Let me welcome it as the canvas for your masterpiece. Sometimes the provision I long for is not material, but emotional. I need peace where there is anxiety, hope where there is weariness, and courage where fear has taken root. You promise not only daily bread, but also daily strength. Not only protection, but also companionship. You are not far off and detached. You are close, breathing life into every uncertain place. Help me resist the urge to compare my journey to another S, for what you provide for me is tailored to my unique walk. My story does not need to match theirs to be blessed. When I feel like I am falling behind, gently remind me that I am not on anyone else's timeline, but yours. When I doubt my value, remind me that provision begins with identity. You do not bless me because I perform. You bless me because I am yours. That truth anchors me deeper than any affirmation or achievement. May my heart learn to rejoice in hidden seasons, when fruit has not yet appeared, trusting that roots are growing even when progress is not visible. You are not just the provider of things I ask for, you are the source of things I did not even know I needed. While I fixate on surface concerns, you work on the soil of my character. Your provision includes pruning and preparing. What you withhold may be your mercy in disguise. What you delay may be developing endurance in me. Let me not interpret waiting as neglect. Let me recognize that you are a faithful Father whose timing is perfect even when it feels inconvenient. When anxiety flares, let gratitude be my response. For even in the unknown, There are blessings too numerous to count. You gave me breath this morning. You woke me with purpose. You surround me with opportunities to reflect your love. If I begin to name them: family, shelter, the ability to think, feel, create, I quickly realize how lavishly you provide. The posture of gratitude turns every moment into worship. And in worship, I remember that I already have what matters most: your presence. So in the tension between what I hope for and what I have, teach me to live with open hands, to receive without clinging, to release without fear, to celebrate without comparison, to grieve without despair. Let generosity be the evidence of trust when I give freely of time, compassion, and resources. I demonstrate that I believe in a source that never runs dry. And even if I only have a little to offer today, I offer it with joy, knowing you can multiply what is surrendered. I want to walk today not with a heart of scarcity, but with a heart that overflows, not just surviving the day, but sowing seeds of encouragement, kindness, and faith. If someone needs hope, let my words carry it. If someone needs patience, let my tone reflect it. If someone needs presence, let my attention provide it. In doing so, participate in your abundant provision, not just as a receiver, but as a vessel. This is the beauty of trusting you. I am not only blessed, but made into a blessing. The road ahead may still be long, and some answers may still be out of reach, but I am not afraid, because you go before me, because you walk beside me, because you dwell within me. Each moment is infused with possibility. Each interruption holds potential. Each hardship is not the end, but the beginning of a testimony. I do not want to rush past what you are trying to show me. Let today be a classroom of grace, a journey into deeper trust, a witness to how faithful you are. And when the sun begins to set, whether my to-do list is complete or not, may I rest not in what I accomplished, but in who you are. May the peace that surpasses all understanding guard my thoughts, steady my emotions, and anchor my spirit. You are enough, so I am enough. You are faithful, so I can let go. You are generous, so I can live freely. The more I see you, the more I realize I lack nothing. My cup overflows, not because life is perfect, but because you are present in every part of it. Lord, in the quiet hush of this morning stillness, I draw near once more, my heart gently anchored in the deep calm that came from yesterday's recognition of your sustaining grace. I feel the afterglow of your provisions still warming my soul like morning sun filtering through the curtains after a long night. And even as I rest in that peace, a new longing stirs in me, not for more, but for a deeper awareness of what already surrounds me. That is the rhythm I long to live in today, not striving to gather more, but opening my eyes wider to the bounty already laid at my feet. You have not withheld your hand from me. You have simply waited for me to see. God, I confess, my gaze often runs too far ahead. I try to peer into needs that have not yet come and solutions I can't yet understand. But today, I do not want to be tangled in future shortages or theoretical losses. I want to be immersed in the sufficiency of this moment, to eat the bread you have given for today and taste its fullness, to drink from the well of now and find it deep, to sit beneath the tree you have planted in this hour, and let its shade still my restless thoughts. You are not the God of distant blessings. You are the God of right now abundance, and I do not want to miss its searching for tomorrow's treasure. Father, give me the grace to walk slower today, not to fall behind, but to be present. Let me pass no moment without noticing the richness you have woven into it. If the conversation is simple, let me treasure the tone. If the work is ordinary, let me cherish the steadiness. If the path seems quiet, let me hear the birdsong you placed as soundtrack. It is not about grand gestures. It is about becoming fully alive to the grace hidden in each unfolding minute. You are not waiting to bless me later. You are here, blessing now. And if I meet obstacles, remind me they do not diminish your provision. They often disguise it. A delay could be the gift of deeper trust. A closed door may be an invitation to notice the open window. Even a loss might clear space for what I did not know I needed. Help me not to define your abundance by my expectations. Let me instead be surprised by your creativity, by the ways you multiply fish and bread in forms I never imagined. My role is not to predict the miracle, it is to remain ready to receive it. Lord, I admit how easily I anchor my sense of enoughness to things that shift. A number in the bank, a response from a person, a sense of control. But all of those can evaporate, and when they do, panic rushes in unless I have placed my trust in the one source that never runs dry. That is you. You are the well that does not empty, the storehouse that is never bare, the hand that never pulls back in scarcity. The more I lean on you, the more I find my feet standing firm, even when the landscape shakes. God, I pray that today I would see my surroundings differently, not as lacking, but as laced with quiet provision, not as deficient, but as pregnant with divine timing. Let me be someone who speaks the language of enough, who sees manna even when it falls in unexpected places, who celebrates small beginnings as the start of something sacred, who walks into the day not begging for crumbs, but receiving each moment as a feast for the soul. Sometimes I forget that trust is not passive. It is not sitting back hoping. It is active agreement with your goodness. It is stepping forward even when the outcome is not confirmed. It is saying yes before the map is drawn. So today, let my trust have legs. Let it walk into rooms with confidence. Let it speak hope in conversations where doubt lingers. Let it show up, even when fear whispers that it is not worth it. Trust is movement, and I want to move with you. Father, help me also extend that trust to others. It is easy to hoard when I am afraid of not having enough. But you remind me that giving and trusting go hand in hand. If I truly believe you are the source, I won't be afraid to pour out my time. My encouragement, my presence, my help. I do not want to be a reservoir. I want to be a river. Let me be generous not from surplus, but from confidence. The confidence that as I pour out, you pour in. And when I start to spiral into comparison, when someone else's life looks more blessed, more provided for, more peaceful, anchor me again in what is mine. Not what I deserve, but what you have lovingly entrusted to me. Portion may not look like theirs, but it is crafted for my journey. It fits the contours of my calling. Help me bless their abundance without doubting mine. Help me cheer for them without feeling less. Because you do not run out. Their gain is not my loss. In your economy, everyone can overflow. So God, as I move through this day, keep bringing me back to this truth. You are the God of already working, already supplying, already present, already enough. I do not have to chase down what you have already placed around me. I just have to open my eyes and my hands and my heart. Let me live from that posture of deep trust, of quiet receiving, of slow wonder. And if the hours bring anxiety, I will return here, to this moment, to this prayer, to this truth, that I have a Father who sees, who knows, who gives, not always what I want, but always what I need, not always on my timeline, but always on time. And that is enough. You are enough, Lord. As the sun rises once more, and my breath returns with the gentle rhythm of morning, I come before you with a heart still learning to wait. There is a tension that lives within me, between expectation and surrender, between desire and trust. Yesterday, I found myself pacing internally, longing for answers you did not yet give. And still, you whispered, not with impatience or rebuke, but with the steady voice of eternity, asking me again to trust the timing I do not see. You are not hurried, Lord. You never act a moment too soon or a moment too late. Your plans are not fragile, nor dependent on my urgency. And yet, how quickly I forget this, how easily I confuse my schedule with your wisdom, my clock with your compassion. I want quick solutions, instant relief, visible outcomes, but you are more interested in the deeper shaping of my soul than in the speed of my satisfaction. So teach me to honor the process. Teach me to find beauty in the becoming, not only in the arriving. If the seed must lie buried for a season before it breaks through the soil, help me not resent the darkness of waiting. If the promise must linger like dew before the dawn, help me not mistake delay for denial. Let me look at each moment not as wasted, but as sacred, filled with invisible preparations I cannot yet perceive. I remember now how many of your miracles began not with movement, but with silence. How often you stood still before you acted. You waited at Lazarus' tomb. You tarried at the well in Samaria. You did not rush to still every storm immediately. And so it is with me. If I am to reflect your heart, then I must learn to walk unhurried, to rest in the rhythm of divine timing, to breathe through the in-between. Let my faith not be measured by what I receive today, but by how I trust in what I have not yet seen. Let my prayers not demand, but dwell in your presence, in your wisdom, in your pace. Some days, the hardest obedience is to be still, to stay planted when I long to run, to remain faithful when there is no visible harvest. But this too is worship, to offer you my waiting, without condition. Lord, in every unmet longing, remind me that you have not forgotten. In every door that has not opened, remind me that you are still good. In every hope deferred, help me cling not to outcomes but to your nearness. For you are never far in the waiting. You are in it. You are beside me, working in ways that are hidden but holy. And what feels like a pause is often a preparation for something deeper than I had imagined. May I not despise small beginnings. May I not rush past quiet mornings. May I not demand thunder when you are whispering growth beneath the surface. Even when my heart trembles with questions, anchor me in the truth that you are not late. You are love. And love does not forget. Love does not withhold to punish, but to protect and to prepare. So today, I choose patience not as passive endurance, but as active trust. I choose to believe that what you delay, you also design. That what you withhold, you intend to multiply in due time. That what I release into your hands, you never lose. I surrender the pressure to be ahead, the temptation to compare my path to another's. You are not rushed, and I am not abandoned. If today brings only one step forward, let me take it with courage. If it brings none, let me stand with grace. And if I am called to wait yet again, let me do so not with bitterness, but with expectancy. You are worth the wait. Your story is still unfolding. And I am not forgotten in the middle of the page. Even when I cannot see the next chapter, help me hold on to the author. You are writing something eternal, not temporary. You are shaping in me a faith that is not built on sight, but on the assurance that your timing is perfect. So even when the answers are still hidden, even when the doors remain closed, even when the path winds longer than expected, I will stay. I will trust. I will wait with hope that does not put me to shame. God, I come to you again this morning with my soul quieted before your presence, holding not strength in my hands, but the full awareness of my frailty. It is strange, is not it, how easy it is to hide weakness from others, even from ourselves, but never from you. You see beneath the surface, where my striving ends and my silence begins. And there, you do not condemn, you draw near. Yesterday, I tried to be strong, to carry more than I was meant to hold. I told myself I had to rise above every weariness, smile past every frustration, push forward without pause. But you never asked for that. You never demanded a perfect performance. You simply invited me to abide, to lean, to trust. And today, I want to respond to that invitation, not by bringing you my best, but by offering you my truth. There are days when the burdens feel heavier than usual, when my mind races with 100 things undone, when my body aches with fatigue that sleep alone cannot fix, when my heart feels bruised by words spoken carelessly, or wounds still healing in silence. On those days, and perhaps today, is when I need to remember that your strength is not a reward for the strong. It is a gift for the surrendered. So I surrender this morning, not as one defeated, but as one held. I let go of the pressure to impress you with polished prayers or eloquent thoughts. I simply sit here in the quiet, open-handed, believing that you meet me here, not at the height of my strength, but at the depth of my need. Your grace does not wait for me to have it all together. It comes rushing in precisely because I do not. I remember now that even the Apostle Paul pleaded for weakness to be removed, only to hear your voice declare that your grace is sufficient, that in his weakness, your power would be made perfect. And so I take comfort in the truth that my limitations are not liabilities in your kingdom. They are invitations, opportunities for you to show up where I cannot. In the places where I feel unable, I ask for your ability. In the spaces where I feel inadequate, I ask for your sufficiency. When my faith feels thin and my courage uncertain, be the steady one beneath my trembling. I do not ask for a life without challenge. I ask for your presence within it. I do not ask for perfection in myself. I ask for peace in you. Help me not confuse weakness with failure. Help me not measure my worth by what I can produce or accomplish. Let me find rest in knowing I am loved not for how strong I am, but for how near you are. You are not repelled by my weakness. You are drawn to it. You are not surprised by my needs. You have already prepared the provision. You are not disappointed in my struggle. You are already speaking truth to silence the lies. Even when my steps feel slow and my prayers feel small, you are listening. Even when all I have to give is my presence, you call it enough. Even when I falter and fall short, you are steady and faithful and sure. You are not waiting for a better version of me to show up. You are already here, offering comfort and courage in the middle of my imperfection. So today, I walk forward not with swagger but with surrender. I will not pretend I am unbreakable. I will not wear strength as a disguise for fear. Instead, I will be honest with you. I will allow you to meet me in the raw and real places where I so often feel alone. Because I am not alone, you are here. And that changes everything. May I not despise these tender places within me, the tired parts, the unsure parts, the aching parts. May I bring them to you like sacred offerings, knowing you hold them with kindness. May I find strength, not in myself, but in knowing I do not have to be strong all the time. You are my strength. You are my enough. You are my provider not just of things, but of courage, of peace, of presence. Let this be a day marked not by perfection, but by dependence. Let this be a day where grace fills every gap and love casts out every fear. Let this be a day where I rest in the quiet confidence that you are near. You are enough, and you will not let me go, not in weakness, not in weariness, not in worry. In every moment, I choose to trust your abundant provision, even when all I bring is an open heart and a willing spirit. Lord, in the hush of this morning, when the world has yet to fully stir and the air holds its breath between night and day, I draw near to you not with urgency, but with quiet trust. The silence around me reflects the stillness I long, for within a stillness not empty or void, but full of your presence. In this sacred pause, I am reminded that not every breakthrough begins with a battle cry. Some begin with stillness. Yesterday taught me something about leaning into weakness, and now I see how that leaning naturally flows into resting. Not just the rest of sleep or inactivity, but the rest of trust, a soul-deep stillness that comes when I stop striving. Stop defending. Stop proving, and instead simply exist in your love. You are not rushing me this morning. You are inviting me into rhythm, a slower, holier pace. This stillness is not without purpose. It is not passive. It is where you do some of your deepest work. In the quiet, you whisper truth that noise would drown out. In the calm, you steady my thoughts that tend to scatter. In the pause, you reframe what matters most. You are not anxious about my day ahead, so why should I be? You are not confused about my path, so why should I fear it? In a world that equates noise with value and speed with success, you call me into something radical. The courage to be still, the courage to let you speak first, to let you move before I do, to believe that provision flows not just through motion, but through moments like this, unseen, uncelebrated, but holy. As I sit in this stillness, I sense how much I try to fill space with effort. I try to outrun uncertainty with plans. I try to outwork discomfort with business. I try to outtalk my worries with empty reassurances. But you are not asking for more of my effort. You are asking for more of my awareness. You are teaching me that surrender is not doing nothing. Nothing, it is doing the most important thing. Turning my face toward yours. Even as the world outside wakes up, I do not want to rush past this space. I want to carry it with me. I want to walk through my day, not as one frantic and scattered, but as one who remembers the hush, who remembers that you are in control, even when I am in motion, who remembers that stillness is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is resistance to the noise that clouds truth. It is making space for the eternal in the middle of the urgent. And so, as I begin this day, I ask for the grace to move without rushing, to speak without shouting, to think without spiraling. Let my heart stay tethered to this peace. This clarity, this sacred pause. Let every action I take today flow from this posture of trust. Let every conversation be touched by this stillness, not because I hold back, but because I am rooted in the one who sees all, knows all, and provides all. You are not just the God of mountaintop moments, but also the God of the quiet valley, the silent dawn, the ordinary Tuesday. You meet me here not because I am impressive, but because I am yours. And in this stillness, I remember again that I have nothing to prove and nothing to earn. Only something to receive your presence, which never leaves. Your provision, which never runs dry. Help me resist the urge to manufacture results that only you can bring. Help me resist the lie that my worth is tied to what I produce. Help me resist the pull to fill every space with sound, every moment with movement, every breath with pressure. Instead, let me breathe deeply. Let me walk gently. Let me live quietly enough to notice the small gifts you leave in my path, the kindness of a stranger, the shift in the wind, the joy of a smile, the anchor of your word. Thank you for not demanding volume to hear me. Thank you for not needing grandeur to move. Thank you for teaching me that some of the greatest miracles begin in hidden places, in still hearts, in quiet faith, in slow trust. I want to be that kind of person, not driven by noise, but drawn by presence, not frantic with striving, but full of calm rooted in your goodness. Let this stillness shape my decisions. Let it form my perspective. Let it be the soil where trust grows, where faith is nurtured, where love matures. Let my heart be still enough to notice when you nudge, when you whisper, when you lead. Let the noise of the world grow dim as your voice grows clearer. And when I feel the rush of life try to pull me back into patterns of control or performance, remind me of this moment. Remind me of how it feels to sit with you, unhurried. Remind me that provision is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle, quiet, even invisible. But it is no less real, no less powerful, no less personal. Let today be marked by the fruit of stillness, by joy that is not loud, but lasting, by peace that is not fragile, but fierce, by faith that does not shout, but anchors. Let this be a day where my spirit moves at the speed of grace, where I trust that what you begin in the stillness, you will carry through to completion. Lord, as I come before you this morning, I am reminded of the frailty of my own strength. Even after days of trying, after moments of courage, there are times when my body feels weary and my soul longs for rest. But just as surely as the sun rises, your faithfulness meets me again with gentle mercy. I thank you not because I feel strong, but because you are. And when I am at the end of myself, you are only beginning. That truth humbles me, and it gives me courage not born of willpower, but born of faith. Yesterday's burdens seem to linger into today, but you remind me that your compassions are new every morning. I breathe in that truth. I receive it not as theory, but as breath to my bones. In a world that rewards productivity and praises resilience, you welcome my weariness with open arms. You do not turn away the tired or reject the ones who limp forward. You are the God who lifts the faint-hearted and strengthens those who wait on you. So here I am, waiting not in hopelessness, but in trust. You have never asked me to be unbreakable. You have asked me to be surrendered. And in that surrender, you trade my weakness for your strength. I do not need to have the answers. I do not need to see the whole map. I just need to keep walking. Even if my steps are small, I trust that you will provide what I need for this moment, whether it is grace to endure, clarity to decide, or peace to rest. Let me not despise small beginnings or quiet days. Let me treasure them as sacred spaces where you meet me most deeply. There are days I have questioned whether I am making progress. Days when the noise of failure is louder than the whisper of hope. But even then, you are not absent. You are the still, small voice calling me to keep going. And not just going, forging ahead with joy. Not anxiety. Not performing, but abiding. When I drift into striving, pull me back into your peace. When I chase approval, remind me I am already fully loved. I do not need to earn what you have freely given. You are not a taskmaster standing over me with a list. You are a shepherd leading me beside still waters. Help me slow down long enough to drink. Let me taste the quiet joys of today, the sound of a bird outside my window, the warm cup in my hands, the kindness of a stranger. These are not random. They are reminders that you are present in every detail. And even when my strength is thin, you are near. You are the God who sees, who notices, who cares. Father, teach me to trust the timing of your provision. You do not give tomorrow as strength today. You give today as strength today. That is enough manna for this moment. No more, no less. I confess I often want guarantees, I want signs and assurances, but you offer something better. Yourself. And in the quiet of this morning, I say yes to you again. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the waiting. Yes to the stretching. Because you are trustworthy. Even when I do not understand, I will lean not on my own understanding, but on your steady hand. I remember how you fed Elijah by a brook, how you clothed the lilies, how you carried the Israelites through a wilderness. My story is no different. You are still the same God, unshaken, unchanging, unfailing. I may be in a different season, but your provision is timeless. If I need strength, you will provide it. If I need hope, you will renew it. If I need rest, you will lead me to it. You are not far off. You are not waiting for me to be better, stronger, or more put together. You are with me now, and as I move through this day, may I do so gently with others and with myself. Let me not rush past your grace or overlook your gifts. Let my words carry kindness, my hands extend compassion, and my eyes see beyond the surface. Use my weakness not as a disqualifier, but as an invitation to showcase your glory. Let my story today reflect not my perfection, but your patience, not my power, but your presence. Thank you, Lord, for being my source when I am empty, my anchor when I am adrift, my healer when I am broken. I do not know what today holds, but I know who holds me. God, as this final morning prayer begins, I bring to you not just requests or reflections, but quiet awe. An awareness has grown in me throughout this journey that you have walked beside me all along, through each chapter, through each uncertainty, through every rising sun. You have been present, steady, and good. I do not need to rehearse every word that has come before, because I now carry them in my spirit. They have become more than morning whispers. They have become foundations. And from those foundations, I rise today not just to survive, but to live fully awake in your provision. There were days I began in desperation, uncertain if strength would meet me. There were prayers that trembled out of fear more than faith. But each time I came to you, you met me with gentleness. Not once did you shame my weakness or dismiss my longing. You simply received me again and again, teaching me that it is in my returning that I am restored. And now, with gratitude swelling in my chest, I want to carry this awareness with me, not as a ritual I leave behind, but as a rhythm I continue. There is a peace that is not shaken by headlines or hindered by deadlines. It is the peace of knowing I am seen and held, the peace of knowing I am not alone in my decisions, my struggles, my questions. The world may still spin in uncertainty, but my soul does not have to follow its pace. I can breathe slower. I can speak softer. I can love deeper. Because I am loved first, I am secure. Not because of anything I can control, but because you are unshakable. In this stillness, I feel you inviting me to live differently, not to perform, but to be present, not to earn worth, but to live from it. My identity is not my productivity. My value is not measured in accolades. I am yours, and that is enough. That has always been enough. Let this day, and every one after it, be shaped by that simple truth. Let my choices be rooted in peace, not pressure. Let my reactions be marked by compassion, not comparison. Let me walk into rooms carrying light instead of fear. Even in this moment, as words fill the air, I sense that words are not enough. How do I thank you for being the constant when everything else shifts? How do I express the stillness that settles inside me when I realize you are near? Perhaps it is not in grand declarations, but in quiet faithfulness, doing the next right thing, loving the person in front of me, pausing to notice the beauty in ordinary moments. Perhaps this is how I say thank you, not with a speech, but with a life. If this journey has taught me anything, it is that provision is not just what you give, but how you give yourself, daily, patiently, tenderly, not in excess, not always as I imagined, but always as I needed. There were times I thought I lacked, but looking back, I see you were teaching me to trust. You were showing me how much I already had. Now, I step into the future not with a map, but with confidence that you go before me. You are in every detail, the ones I see and the ones I never will. Today, I choose to remember not just the heavy moments you helped me through, but the quiet ones where you whispered comfort. I choose to recall the subtle nudges, the unexpected encouragements, the laughter that broke through long nights. I see now that these were not coincidences. They were reminders that you are Emmanuel, God with us, not just at Christmas, but in cubicles, in kitchens, in hospital rooms, in car rides, in long silences, in loud celebrations. Everywhere. And now, as this series of prayers comes to a close, I know that our communion does not end here. It deepens. This is not goodbye. This is continuation. A movement from whispered words to daily choices, from quiet devotion to bold compassion, from private reflection to public faithfulness. Let my life echo what these prayers began. Let my steps carry the trust I have built with you. Let my voice bless, not burden. Let my presence invite, not intimidate. To every soul who has walked through these chapters with me, thank you for allowing this space to be sacred, for choosing to show up, for opening your heart, even when it was hard. You were never alone here. You were carried, just as I was. And as we go our separate ways into the world, we go with the same light, with the same hope, with the same unshakable provider. May your mornings continue to begin in truth. May your nights be covered in peace. May you never forget that you are held by grace. If these prayers have met you in your valleys or lifted you on your mountains, I invite you to share your journey. Let others know they are not alone. Your voice may be the reminder someone else needs. Leave your reflections below. Let this become a community where honesty meets encouragement, where struggle meets strength, where faith becomes shared. And if this journey has stirred something within you, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to this channel to continue growing in truth and peace each day. Share this video with someone who might need a breath of hope this morning. Let your faith not only remain alive, but thrive. Keep coming back. Keep building this rhythm of trust, day by day. And now, as the morning light spills across the sky, like a quiet promise renewed, may you carry this peace with you. Let the soft breeze on your skin, the warmth of sunlight through your window, or the quiet rustle of leaves remind you that you are not forgotten. You are deeply seen, deeply loved, and never, ever alone.